Woo! What's going on, guys? Almost Form coming at you guys today for another video. This is the preview of the NFC Championship game. Detroit Lions going to Santa Clara playing the San Francisco 49ers. Man, this is a big game. We are finally here, guys. The Lions are on the road and playing in a championship game that took them 30 plus years back to get there. Last time they did it, 91, 92, whatever it was, 92, 91 season, 92, and got throttled by the Washington Redskins at the time. They were the Redskins, and they got their butts, I think it was 41-10, something like that, where it was just an awful game. Took us 30 plus years to get there. We're finally here. Now let's get some injuries going, guys. The nerves are shot right now, man. It's starting to kick in really bad right now. Okay, the injuries. Lions, we're losing offensive guard Jonah Jackson with a knee. No practice. He is labeled out. Wide receiver Khalif Raymond out again. Knee, no practice, out as well. Quarterback Hendon Hooker, that emergency 3 quarterback. Tooth, he has a tooth problem. No practice. He is questionable. Cornerback Chase Lucas had an illness during the week. Limited practice. He's questionable as well. Linebacker Alex Anzalone had a shoulder and ribs. It's a full practice, no injury designation. He is a go. Linebacker James Houston. We need the problem. Hasn't had an ankle. Missed pretty much the whole season. Played one game against Kansas City. He was in full practice. He is activated. It looks like he is going. No injury designation. Tight end Sam Laporta, knee, full practice. He is a go. Center Frank Ragnow got an ankle, a toe, a knee, and a back. This guy is just the poster boy for Detroit Lions. He is the grit. He is the toughness. Frank Ragnow playing on one leg. Basically playing on one leg. He is banged up, full practice. He is a go, though. Wide receiver Josh Reynolds, ribs, full practice as well. He is a go, too. So a couple injuries, guys, for the Lions. A couple starters. Jonah Jackson obviously being a starter. Khalif Raymond, a starter on special teams. Our third wide receiver as well, fourth wide receiver, our gadget guy, punt return, kick return guy, whatever. We're missing a couple guys right now. So, Coyote Awosika will be playing in for Jackson, I'm assuming. You could see him. Michael Schofield, I believe, is going to be activated to the roster. We'll see. And then for Raymond, I think it's Donovan People-Jones will be, kind of gets elevated in at least a special teams units right there. So the 49ers, they're fairly healthy. They don't have a lot of guys going on right now that are hurt, but they got some guys that are banged up just like us. Defensive tackle Kalia Davis, ankle, full practice, he's questionable. Linebacker Oren Burks, shoulder, limited practice, questionable. Defensive end Nick Bosa, he pretty much rested the whole week, didn't really even practice. He's a go. Wide receiver Debo Samuel, which is a big one, had a shoulder. He's a full practice. He didn't practice during the week early. Then he went to limited. Then he went to full practice. He is a go. That offense is completely different without him and with him. So we'll talk about that in a bit. But he looks like he is a go-to. Offensive tackle Trent Williams, rest. He is a go-to. No injury designation. Defensive tackle Eric Armstead. Defensive end, he kind of flip-flops around. He has a foot and a knee, full practice. He is a go. Linebacker Dre Greenlaw with an Achilles, full practice. He's a go. The DB George Odom, biceps, full practice, a go. Cornerback Ambry Thomas, Wolverine, hand, full practice. He is a go as well, too. So, they're fairly healthy. The San Francisco 49ers, obviously guys banged up during the season. Nobody's 100%, but they're looking pretty healthy going into this NFC Championship game. Now let's do the rankings for the offense, man. You want to talk about two juggernaut offenses? Listen to this. Let's go to the Lions first because they are the road team. Yards per game, that's total, 394.8 for the Lions. That puts them at 3. Rushing per game, 135.9. That puts us at 5th. Rush per rush, 4.6 yards per rush. That puts us at 5th. Passing game, we're passing for 258.9 yards a game. Puts us at number 2 in the NFL. QBR, 98.1. Puts us at 5th. Sacks, we've only given up 31 sacks on the year, tied for 4th. Third down percentages turned into first downs. We're at a 41.5% clip. That's tied for 9th in the NFL. Possession, 31 minutes, 21 seconds. fifth in the NFL. Points per game, 27.1. That puts us at fifth in the NFL. This is a juggernaut of an offense versus a hell of a defense in San Francisco, and we'll talk about that too. But man, we got the toys to make some noise. Hey, it rhymed. Hey, look at me, I'm a rapper. What's going on? Oh, now 49ers. Now the 49ers, another juggernaut offense. Yards per game total, 398.4 puts them at number 2. They're rushing for 140.5 yards a game. That puts them at number 3. McCaffrey. Rush per 4.8 puts them at 4. They're passing for 257.9 yards a game. Puts them at number 4. QBR, number 1 in the league, 110.2 QBR for Brock Purdy. Getting it done. They've given up 34 sacks on the year. That's tied for 5th. Their third down percentages turned into first downs is at a 47.5% clip. That puts them at number 4. Their possession, 31 minutes in 7 seconds. That puts them at 8th. And their points per game, they're scoring 28.9 points a game. That puts them at number 3. So it's a juggernaut offense. Just 2 juggernaut offenses right there. Just talked about them both, Lions and 49ers. You know, these 2 defenses, the Lions and the 49ers, man, are in tough. Are in really tough because there's playmakers all over the field. So let's go to the defense. We start with the Lions first. Yards per game, we're giving up 336.1 total yards a game. That puts us at 19th. Rushing a game, 88.8 yards a game. That puts us at number 2. We're still a juggernaut offense. Defense, start stopping the run. But we haven't played, I don't think, that great during the playoffs yet. But I think we were kind of focusing in that Tampa Bay game strictly on stopping the pass. We didn't do a very good job of it, but I think we stopped, that's what we're kind of doing, playing a lot of high safety, and Rachaad White had a good day. No disrespect towards Rachaad White. He had a big game. But yeah, during the playoffs, we haven't been as crisp, I don't think. But during the season, this is regular season stats, guys. We've been number 2. So per rush, we're giving up 3.7 yards per rush, puts us at number 3. Passing per game, 247.4 total yards against, puts us at 27th. That is a problem. QBR against, 91.5. A quarterback rating against us puts us at 22. And then sacks, we only got 41 on the season, tied for 25th. Not that great. Third down percentages, thirds into first at a 37.1% clip. That's tied for 10th, which is really good. We're getting off the field a little bit better than people would like to think. Possession per game, 28 minutes, 53 seconds, 6th in the NFL. Points per game, we're giving up 23.2 points a game. Puts us at 23. So, like I said, guys, pretty much the whole season, we have a problem stopping the pass. We are a great team stopping the run. This is a major test going up against one of the most, probably is the best running back in the NFL in Christian McCaffrey. So this is going to be a real test. We're going to see what these guys are made of today. Now, the 49ers defense, and they got playmakers all over the place too. Yards per game, they're giving up 303.9 yards a game, puts them in 8th. They're stopping the run at a great clip too, 89.7, puts them at number 3, right behind us. Per rush, they're giving up 4.1 yards a rush. That's tied for 6th. Passing, 214.2 yards a game. That puts them at 14th. A very good passing unit, but it is their weakest link. Their defense, the weakest link is their secondary. And believe it or not, getting to the quarterback. And we'll talk about that in a little bit too here. Now, the QBR, 79.6 yards against. Quarterbacks do not have a lot of success against them. That puts them on 4th. And they only got 48 sacks on the season, which I was very, very shocked to see and hear. That's tied for 7th in the NFL, though, but it's only 7 more than the Lions. This is with guys like Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead. They have tried to bolster that defensive line, though, and get into the quarterback, acquiring guys like Chase Young, bringing in Randy Gregory, even bringing in Sebastian Joseph Day. He's a defensive tackle, but he's got some push to the quarterback. So they have tried to bolster that, And they got a little bit better when they brought in Chase Young, but Chase Young hasn't really shown it in the stat columns. But they've gotten better as a unit. But I was shocked to see that it was only 48 sacks to 41. But they are tied for seventh. There's a lot of teams with 48 sacks. Now the third down percentages, they're stopping third downs into first downs at a 40.9% clip. That puts them at 25th. So teams are having a little bit of success against them acquiring first downs on third downs. Just first downs in general. So you can do that with this. You can do that against this defense. It's a great defense, but hey, every defense has holes. You know what I mean? This is a great defense, but you can get to this defense, man. And then possession, 28 minutes, 52 seconds. That puts them at fifth in the NFL, which is very good. And points per game, they only gave up 17.5 points per game during the regular season. That puts them at 3. That's a juggernaut of a defense right there. So, great. They're great at stopping the run. They're very good against the pass. Not getting to the quarterback like I thought they would. They're giving up some third downs. They got some holes there. Ben Johnson and all his offensive staff need to really take control of that, man, and really focus on that, and I'm sure they do or will. Now let's go to this roster. Quarterback Jared Goff of the Lions, Teddy Bridgewater, Hendon Hooker if he plays. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs having a stellar playoffs. Montgomery playing well. Craig Reynolds getting in the end zone. Wide receivers Amon-Ra St. Brown. Josh Reynolds had a big game. Got to get Jameson Williams involved more. Donovan Peoples-Jones. And then you're seeing guys like Antoine Green, if he even dresses the rookie. Then tight end Sam Laporta, rookie, and Anthony Firkser. Now this kind of makes me a little bit nervous. You got Jason Kabinda probably in there too as the fullback, obviously, but he's also an emergency kind of tight end. No Zach Ertz today, guys. No Zach Ertz. I made that video yesterday. Didn't know if they were going to activate him. I personally thought they were going to, but hey, who am I? You know what I mean? I thought they would have just at least activated him in case Laporta did get hurt, but they're taking a little bit of a risk here. Hopefully Laporta stays healthy. Apparently he's getting healthy and healthier as that injury heals up. And then left tackle Taylor Decker. Left guard, it looks like it's going to be Coyote Awosika. Maybe Michael Schofield backing him up. Center Frank Ragnow. Right guard Graham Glasgow. Right tackle Penei Sewell. And then fullback Jason Kabinda, who's the versatile guy who can play tight end. He can play fullback. Guy can even play emergency linebacker if needed be. And then you got guys like I said, Schofield, Colby Sorsdal, Dan Skipper kind of hanging around, giving guys breaks, because you will see Skipper, especially Skipper, coming in and out of that lineup. Now the defensive end, Josh Pascal, John Kaminsky, Charles Harris, will he be activated? We need pressures from those guys. Nose tackle, Benito Jones, Broderick Martin, I don't see him even dressing. Defensive tackle, Lee McNeil, Tyson Alu. Defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson, Romeo Aquara, and James Houston. The problem, looks like he's back. Let's see how many snaps he gets. We actually need him big time. Will linebacker, Alexander Zaloni, Jalen Reeves-Maybin, Malcolm Rodriguez. Middle linebacker, Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell, the rookie out of Iowa. And then cornerbacks, Kindell Vildor, Will Harris kind of hanging around there. Strong safety, Ifeatu Melifonwu. C.J. Gardner-Johnson can play everywhere too. Then free safety, Kirby Joseph, Tracy Walker III. And then you got Cam Sutton at corner, with Khalil Dorsey kind of backing those guys up. Then nickel corner, Brian Branch, the rookie out of Alabama. And then Chase Lucas. So, some playmakers on defense too. Everybody wants to sleep on this defense. It's a stellar run defense. The pass defense is a problem. It is a progress. It's a work in progress for next year. It is our Achilles heel. It is our problem. It is our main problem. And it has to do with getting to the quarterback as well. It's not just the secondary. It's not just guys like Cam Sutton. It's not just guys like Vildor, who's playing well, actually. I think Vildor is playing well. We got to get to the quarterback. Just that simple, and we got to cover guys. And they got some guys that need to be covered, and it's going to be tough. Now get that 49ers offense. Quarterback Brock Purdy, got Sam Darnold over there. Running backs, Christian McCaffrey, absolute horse, stud, all-pro. Elijah Mitchell, the speedster. Jordan Mason. Wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel. Juwan Jennings. Ronnie Bell, the rookie out of Michigan. And then Chris Conley. Conley had a big catch, I believe it was last week. But their guys are Ayuk, Samuel, Juwan Jennings. Those are their three main guys right there. And then tight end George Kittle, who's a freak. And left tackle Trent Williams, one of the best in the business. Left guard Aaron Banks, center Jake Brendel, right guard Spencer Burford, and then right tackle Colton McKivitz. So it's a good old line. They get the job done. The whole offense is full of stars. You know, Christian McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk is a star, Kittle is a star, Trent Williams. They got guys. They got John Feliciano, Ben Barch, Matt Pryor kind of backing up all those offensive linemen. So it's just a great all-around offense. Defense, littered with stars too. Defensive end Nick Bosa, you got Randy Gregory hanging around there. Defensive tackle Eric Armstead, he can kind of play both end and tackle. Javon Kinlaw, Sebastian Joseph Day. Defensive tackle Javon Hargrave too. So tough, really tough up the middle. They're really hard up the middle. It's going to be interesting to see how the Lions kind of handle that, especially with guys like Jonah Jackson being banged up. Scares me right there. Now, defensive end Chase Young, they acquired him from the Washington Commanders. And, Will linebacker Dre Greenlaw, who's an up-and-coming, one of the best young linebackers in the NFL. Oren Burks. And then you got middle linebacker Fred Warner, who's just an absolute baller. Might be the best linebacker in the NFL. Pretty damn close if he's not. Cornerback Charvarius Ward. Strong safety Jair Brown, the rookie. Ryan Logan backing him up. Free safety Tayshaun Gibson Sr. Cornerback Ambry Thomas, go blue. And then Norfolk cornerback Diamador Lenoir. So they got some ballers, guys. Bosa, Young, Greenlaw, Fred Warner. They got some guys that can really get it. They're like I said earlier, their weakest link to me, and I think it's I'm sure everybody agrees, is their secondary. You can throw on them a little bit. They're better than average though. They're like 14th in the NFL as a passing unit, as a whole passing unit together, and that includes everybody. Even the linebackers are in there, but their secondary can be a little bit of their weakest link. And their O line and their D line hasn't. And I just was listening to some of the, I think it was ESPN, and there was Rex Ryan, Randy Moss, Alex Smith was on there. Alex Smith made a pretty good point. He's like, there's only been half a sack between Young and Nick Bosa in the last 4 games. So I'm sure the pressures are there. You know, Bosa's getting to the quarterback either way. If he's QB hurrying you, if he's hitting you, if he's making you do things you don't want to do, if he's getting you out of the pocket, he's causing disruption. But the sacks aren't really there right now for the two ends. And like I said earlier, man, their sack total on the season, surprisingly low from what I've seen at 48. Only 7 more than us, and we were terrible getting to the quarterback. So it just goes to show you that not every defense is perfect. You know what I mean? So they got some guys that get to the quarterback, but are struggling at the moment. So let's talk this Lions O and defense. This Lions offense, like I said, it's one of the best in the NFL. If not, it's right up there, top 3. It is basically, this offense is basically a juggernaut offense. It is. It's an elite offense. They do everything well. They run the ball. They throw the ball. They Goff lives off the play action. Gibbs has been playing out of his mind. You can run a little bit with Gibbs and Monty. You got to split those guys up. One thing that was pointed out to me, and I want to thank my buddy Tommy Witter, that you can run on the outside of this offense, of this defense in San Francisco, off tackles, and that's where we shine the most, especially with Gibbs. You know, Dave Montgomery's the inside guy. He's the hammer. He's going to hammer you inside. But if you go outside these tackles, you can get some space. And San Fran hasn't had a very good overall season stopping the run outside of the tackles. So thanks to Tommy for that, man. I did notice that before too. I was watching that Green Bay game, and that's what Aaron Jones was doing. You'd see him kind of coming inside. He'd bounce outside. Boom, he'd be gone. Right side outside the tackles. You know, and it's not a bad defensive line in San Francisco. It's just sometimes there's a weak link there. So We're going to have to run the football, even though it's a great running defense. It's a great running defense in San Francisco. They were number 3 in the NFL, number 4 in per rush, yards against, number 3. Like, it's just, you know what I mean? But you find that weak link and you expose it. That's what the Lions are going to have to really do. They're going to really have to run the ball to beat this football team. They just are. And it's going to be really tough to do. Like, trying to get outside those tackles, we got ourselves a game. You know, throwing the ball is going to be hard too. I think this O-line is up to the challenge to give Goff a ton of time. You know, like I said, the sack departments hasn't really been a thing for Nick Bosa and company, which was surprising. Again, I'll say it for the 1700th time. You give Goff some time, he's going to dissect you. Amon-Ra is going to have a decent game. You got to get J-Mo involved. Laporta, I think, is in tough. You know, especially if these linebackers are running with them, because these linebackers can run with these tight ends. Like, these linebackers are freaks in San Francisco. Warner can run with any tight end in the business. Greenlaw's getting up there too. Greenlaw is just getting better and better as every time he plays. Every time I see this kid play, he just impresses me more and more. Laporta's going to have a big game as well. I really expect a big game from Amon-Ra, and I'm telling you, J-Mo, get him involved. Josh Reynolds in the middle, getting those big hits, those big catches, and taking the big hits. You know, Reynolds is going to have to come up big too, and I think they're up to the task. This offense is up to the task. Now, defensive-wise for the Lions, woof. Stars everywhere in San Francisco. Stars everywhere. You know, you got to get to Purdy. He's not the biggest of quarterbacks. He's got a quick release. He sets his feet well, gets the ball out fast. You know, and then you got to stop the run. Dan Campbell's talked about it all week. If we don't stop McCaffrey, we're in a lot of trouble. And that's the truth. This Lions defense has not given up 70 yards to one running back all year. 70 yards. They haven't given up. Now, it probably will be a different story today. I see CMC. I don't see him struggling. I don't see him completely dominating. You know what I mean? I think it's going to be both ways. You're going to see CMC have some. You're going to see him have some big runs, some really tough runs, and you're going to see him get stymied at the line of scrimmage as well. It's not going to be a free-for-all for Christian McCaffrey. This Lions run defense is legit, and their San Francisco run offense is even legit too. It goes both ways. So you got to stop that. It's all about stopping the run in the NFL. It's all about stopping the run in football in general. If you played the game, you know. You stop the run. You stop the run. You start making teams one-dimensional, and that's it. That's what it's all about. Now you got to have Purdy drop back and be the guy to win you the ball game. That doesn't really happen in San Francisco because they're so dominant at every phase, running the ball, getting the ball out to the wide receivers, Kittle getting open. So my two biggest concerns are George Kittle. George Kittle is one of them. CMC, I'm for sure worried about, but I know it's going to be a little bit of a back and forth thing with him. They got to stop him though. But my big concern is George Kittle having a humongous day because I don't know who's going to cover him. Anzalone is probably our best cover linebacker. He's in tough, man, against the freak from Iowa. He's in tough. You can't have Jack Campbell going after him. You can't have Jack Campbell going with Jack Campbell. I think is a decent cover linebacker. He was really good in college. I love that pick, but that's asking a ton. So it'll probably be Anzalone mostly. You know, we're seeing Barnes dropping back. I don't really want to see Barnes drop back too much, even though he had that big interception versus Baker. Watching Barnes drop back kind of gives me heart palpitations a little bit. It just makes me a little bit nervous because I'd rather see Anzalone and Campbell doing that over Barnes. And I like Barnes. I really do. But Kittle is a different breed. He's just a different breed, man. He's an animal. He feeds off energy. He's just one of those guys that, you know, as the game goes on, gets stronger and stronger. So he's a big concern of mine. Debo as well, too. There was another question on NFL Network, which I thought was fantastic. And they asked the panel. This was on the NFL Network. Yeah, this was asked to Michael Irvin, Mooch, Steve Mariucci, and Kurt Warner. Rich Eisen was asking the question, Who's more important in that offense? Debo or McCaffrey? It's Debo 100%. They are night and day. Night and day when Debo is healthy and getting the ball. They score something like, I think it was Debo without Debo, it's like they score 18 points a game, and with Debo, it's like 25. The record with Debo in there is like massively in the green, and they're like 8-9 when he's not playing. That offense runs through Debo Samuel. You can tell me all. You can give me all Christian McCaffrey. You can say, "Hey man, he's the guy you got to stop." And I believe it's true. You do have to stop McCaffrey. You have to slow him down because you're not stopping him. If you stop him, fantastic. But you're not stopping Christian McCaffrey. It goes through Debo, and Debo's banged up now. That shoulder, it's not 100%, but nobody's 100% right now. You know, we got Ragnow on one leg. We got all these guys hurt. Debo is on his shoulders pretty much, I think, probably hanging off his shoulder. It's not good. He's probably playing at about a 60% clip, 70% healthy. He's not healthy whatsoever. So the snaps will be important there. They're going to try to get him involved, I think, early, probably to see how his shoulder is. So I expect some Debo plays off the bat. I really do. Some quick hitters, some stop and goes. They're going to see how he can absorb the hits. And the Lions need to hit him. I'm not saying go after him, man, in an illegal way. Legally smuck him. You have to let him know you're there. Beat him up. Legally. Do it in a legal fashion. Just like the Kirby Joseph hits, man. People can come out and say that, hey, man, it's dirty. You know, but it's an illegal hit. It's not. It's a legal, clean hit, the Kirby Joseph. And I'm not getting into that, but you got to go after Debo. You got to hit him. You got to let him know you're there. You got to let him know you're there, and they're going to try to get him involved early. I'm telling you right now, watch. They're going to try and get it because they want to see how that shoulder is. And if he's good to go, woo, strap up. Because it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day, and you're going to have to get to him, man. So, you know, make this team. So those two guys are the most that fear that I am afraid of, Kittle and Debo, because I already know what you're getting from CMC. I know what you're getting from all these guys, but if you can somehow slow Kittle down, you can somehow get Debo less involved. You have a great shot at winning this football game, a really good shot. And I really do. On paper, this 49er defense is better. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm not going to blow smoke up anybody's ass. I'm not going to lie here. The 49ers are a better team on paper. They got the stars. They got the production. They got the numbers, blah, blah, blah. They got everything, okay? It's just, you know, I think this team is a team of destiny, the Detroit Lions. I really do. And I'm taking the Detroit Lions here, guys. I'm taking them 31-30 for the Detroit Lions. Lots of scoring. We talked about how good this defense is in San Fran. We talked about how we have some really good spots on defense as well. I think it's going to be one of those games where where Michael Badgley comes through and hits like a 40-yard field goal and wins the game. We got like 28 points, and we're losing 30-28, and we hit a 3-pointer, and we win the game, and we walk off the field, and we're going to the Super Bowl. It's just how I feel. It's just how I feel. You look at both of these teams up and down, and you take a look, and the check marks are all on San Francisco. They really are. But we have a team that's gritty, team that's not going away. We're not afraid. We're going to come at you 150% every play. I just feel it that we're going to win this football game. 31-30 Detroit Lions. That's it, guys. NFC Championship game, baby. Let's go. To the kickoff in a few hours. I love it. Going to go watch some of that. That Chiefs-Ravens game coming up in a little bit too. I think it's on right now. But I appreciate it, guys. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button at the bottom right. Don't forget to go hit the notification bell up top. Give it a ring-ding-a-ling. And don't forget to like, comment, share this out. Really appreciate it, guys. Get that good juju going, guys. Detroit Lions, baby. Detroit versus everybody. One pride. Let's go. Boom.